after Sunday, there could be speculations of jumping into the top 25. You guys were just short of that. Are you using that as motivation heading into this week, or what do you think about that?
I mean, I am grateful that we're in the conversation, but it doesn't sway me one way or the other. I think for our team, it's just really important that we eliminate distractions and stay focused on the process that we've been doing all year, which is day-to-day growth. And I usually don't really, it matters in that it shows growth in our program, but to me personally, it matters where we're ranked at the end of the year. You know, so I appreciate that there is talk and that we're showing people that we're worthy of being in the conversation, but I want my players to stay focused on what really matters, and being ranked right now isn't that for us.
Jordan mentioned after the game on Sunday that you guys have a lot of people who can step up on any given night. Have you felt that you've had more maybe quality depth or more reliable pieces even when somebody has an off day?
Yeah, I think that the last two games have shown us that we do have that. And that's not something you can really simulate and practice all the time. You can try, you can move people in and out. Obviously, we want people to stay ready. But in big moments in the last two games that we've had, where we've had some of our best players foul out of the game and we've needed players to step up, they have. Not only does that build confidence for them in themselves, but it builds confidence for our team and them as well, and the collective. I'll also say it's funny because you get all the players on the floor and the players that come in and make an impact on the floor, the ones that we typically talk about a lot. I don't know if you guys noticed our bench the last couple of games, and the energy that they have brought is the same energy that they bring every day in practice. So we talk a lot about our roles and responsibilities to the team, and every player has a huge impact on the game, whether or not they play or they don't. I think when you see a bench as engaged as ours is, no matter whose number I call, and it could be anybody on any given day. You guys have seen it all year because I've done it. I mean, we've had to use all of our players. They're ready because they're engaged. And it's really, really important that people see that's who we are and that we operate like that every day.
Can you talk about what you see in this Kentucky team and how you think you guys match up against them this Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, they've vastly improved over the course of the year. Kyra's done an amazing job. They play really hard. They're super athletic. They have a couple of kids that can really score the ball. Maddie Shear, Asia Petty's playing much better. They play a style of defense that's very aggressive. It's similar to what we're going to see in a lot of our SEC games. But I think any game that we play on the road is going to be a tough one. So does it change how we prepare? No. We know exactly what we're going up against, but we're just continuing to try to get better from the last two games we played so that we can go out there. And I would love to not throw the ball away 25 times. Or 20 times. If we could get better at just that, then that would be good. But they do play aggressively defensively, so it'll be a challenge.
What is the key to cutting back on those turnovers for you guys?
Valuing possessions, I think, number one. Just taking care of the ball means when somebody bumps you, don't give it up. Make it harder for them to take it. I think when we play against the types of defenses that we've seen the last couple of games, we have to do a better job of communicating, of timing, getting open, of making sure that we're running through passes, and then executing whether or not the defense is aggressive, they're not aggressive, they're in zone, they're in man. We read that defense and then we execute. We just can't give them the ball. So whatever it looks like on each possession, we have to get a quality possession. That may not always end up in points, but we can't give the ball away. And what hurt us against Florida was we gave it away for wide open layups. It wasn't a whole, there were dead ball turnovers, but there were plenty of them where we threw the ball and they just got wide open late. We can't do that if we're going to win games down the stretch in our conference.
Does having a veteran point guard like Jordan give you optimism that maybe you guys could fix that sooner rather than later?
Yes. Having Jordan gives me optimism that we can fix it sooner rather than later. But you can see that the teams have picked up on that as well. And we're not the only team that scouts. So the last couple games, you've seen people try to take the ball out of our hands, and Jordan Oliver, Ayanna Moore have ended up with the ball in the half court. So we'll have to work there to make sure that they're comfortable with us getting into whatever we need to get into so that they're not, that we don't feel as disjointed as we did against Florida in the half court.
Is your team's approach going to change at all as you kind of start playing more, more physical SEC teams, or do you think it's going to stay mostly the same?
No, our approach won't change. It doesn't matter who we play. And I'm hoping that they understand that that's kind of been since we've been here. Certainly this year, the team that we've had, our approach is the same every day. We schedule games to mimic sometimes what we're going to see in the NCAA tournament with only one day prep. In the non-conference, we schedule games where we have to play against tough opponents that will expose us for those reasons in the non-conference, but we prepare for every team in November like we'll prepare for every team in March. And so then it teaches our team that it's not ever who we play, it's about who we are every day and how we show up on game day.
Yeah, Bailey Gilmore, what's her status?
She's back with the team, and so she'll be on the bench, but she won't be traveling so that she can focus on, because she's a red shirt, she won't be traveling so she can focus on academics. Okay?
Coach, going back to what you said earlier about players being able to step in and make an impact off the bench, one player that's been doing that lately is Pierre. Can you tell us what you've seen from her and what you would like to see her continue to work on in the future?
Yes, Camille is going to be a huge piece for us this year, especially down the stretch. You guys see she's supremely talented, supremely athletic. She has an array of different skills that lend to versatility that I love to have on the team, but that's helpful for us to have on the floor. What I'd like to see more from her is consistency, not only on game day, but in practice. And she's starting to figure that out. And a big reason of that is because we have veteran players that are showing her how to do that. All coaches would love our young players to grow quickly. I want them to be ready now. I want them to play like seniors now. But there's a process. And each player that comes to us is at a different place and learns differently. So we've started to find a rhythm with Camille's process. And it's huge for her that she had the game she did against Florida, even huger for our team. Because like you guys asked in the beginning, what does it mean? It means now that we know we can trust her in big moments. She practiced like that today. I'm excited to go and see what she does against Kentucky. But if we can layer her into our rotation consistently, then I think we become that much more lethal offensively and defensively.
What difference did you see between the way that you handled the end of a close game situation between the Mississippi State and the Florida games?
I think, I think our defense was great in both of them. I thought Mississippi State hit some big shots. I also thought we hit some big shots. And then against Florida, it looked different because we both threw the ball away. So another reason why they were much different, but what was consistent was our defense. So I finished my sentence saying another reason why our defense is so important. Because if we can make it really, really tough for people to score easily. So Mississippi State made some shots, but they had a hand in our face. We fouled the three-point shooter, which we can't do. But then we have to get quality possessions. We can't just get stops and not score. And that's what hopefully we'll take away from Florida. We'll continue to work on that in practice. But our possessions, specifically down the stretch, have to be quality. We cannot give the ball to them.
What did it mean to see your team able to shut down some much taller bigs on both Mississippi State and Florida teams?
I think it shows people that I don't know that it's always size that matters, you know, and in terms of when you play a sport like our size, we're going to play a bunch of people that are a lot taller than us. We played a couple teams that were a lot smaller than us in the non-conference, and they busted our butts a few times, right? So I don't think you judge a book by its cover, or you look at a team when they're warming up and say, well, we have no shot because they look like they can play. It matters who can play, and it matters down the stretch. If it's me against you, then I don't care what you look like, what your skill set is. If I'm prepared, I'm going to make the plays that I need to make to win the game. If it's me against you, and each one of our kids on our team has that mindset, then it doesn't matter who's on the other team, how big they are, how small they are. We just have to understand what's our game plan, how do we prepare for that, and making sure that we take care of our business individually and together. So hopefully we see as a team, and you guys see that, okay, we may be, Sasha's 6'2", but I trust her against a 6'5" kid. I trust her, and because she puts the work in to make sure that she's ready.
You talk about what you've seen from Bella Chance being a senior, and what you see, you know, as she has a few more games left, and what you've seen from her as a leader this year.
I would love to turn that question on you guys and ask you what you see in her. I would love to know, because Bella brings something to our team that you can't, it's priceless. You can't it's hard to even put it into words. The kid barely plays for most of the year, and then you put her in one of the biggest games of our year, and she makes huge plays. but she does it every day in practice. We talked about relentless consistency. That's how she approaches everything. She's our best teammate. She's one of our most vocal kids. She works her butt off in the classroom, on the court. So it's not a surprise when kids like that have success. And the reason she was in the game was because I trust her, because I see it every single day. You guys don't get the benefit of that. But the things that you guys saw her do, the reason our team is not only because of the kids on the floor, it's because of kids like Bella who do all the things behind the scenes that make us go. She's one of our engines. We wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be where we are right now without her.
Yeah, Bella, you didn't recruit her. She was here when you came in and hasn't always had consistent playing time. What does it mean to you that she's chosen to continue to return to Vanderbilt?
One of the things that she told me when we first got here was that she didn't care how much she played. She didn't care what it was that I needed her to do. She just wanted me to tell her what that was so that she could do it, because she just wants to be part of what we're doing. She wants to be part of something bigger than herself. She wanted to be part of getting Vanderbilt basketball back to the place that it should be. And again, I mean, in this day and age with players, that's hard to find. It's hard to find somebody with her skill set, with and her brains and her personality that just wants to be part of something bigger than her. That's not something I can coach. So, when we got here, it takes a while to learn your team and to learn your players, but it happened pretty quickly where we knew she was somebody that would be vital to our success and that we wanted to keep around for sure.
With her and some others, it seems like there's just people that want to be around here, and people kind of have gravitated towards your program recently. What's special about your program that has made that happen?
We've tried to define our program as the premier holistic developmental program. So obviously we want to win at this level, obviously, right? We want to win. We want to win. We want to compete for championships. But with the landscape of college athletics and basketball kind of changing and the uncertain future of that, I think sometimes the focus can be on wrong things. And we coach basketball, but that's not the main part of what we do. We are helping young people transition into adulthood. They're growing. So for me to be the best coach I can be for my team, for me to give them a chance to win and to be a championship team, then I have to know my players. And I have to invest in my players and relationships, not just on the floor, but off the floor. I have to invest in their growth as young women, not just as basketball players, but as students in the community, as family members. And they need to feel that I care about them. And then I get to show them what that looks like as they move on into their life, because they're gonna work in groups. They're gonna have their own family. They're gonna work in whatever they do. It's gonna be with a group of people. And you have to learn what it looks like to be part of something that's bigger than yourself. So hopefully what people see is a culture where we really care about each other. So yes, we're playing a sport and we wanna win at that sport, and our players are very talented at it. But at the end of the day, we're also trying to grow together as a group that really loves each other, cares about each other, and wants the best for each other. And I think if we can teach them what that looks like and feels like as they move on into life, no matter what we do out here, we'll be successful.
All right, everybody, thank you for your time. Appreciate it.